Hey everybody, just as a reminder, as of today, you can pre-order our new merch. Our new line of products is a collaboration with Creep. It's custom merch specifically for Dead Meat, like we provided the design direction. First off, this amazing Dead Meat Scare-a-thon t-shirt. It brings back the Dead Meat video branding from the VHS kill counts a couple of years ago, and it incorporates a couple of nods to Creep, like this Creep VHS tape, and there's the little Peach Fuzz. Speaking of Peach Fuzz, he is the star of this hoodie that has Dead Meat video on the front, and then on the back, look at this amazing art featuring Peach Fuzz handing you his preferred VHS. Watch it with caution. We've also got a Dead Meat locket that references the locket from Creep, only it's got the Dead Meat logo on the front and pictures of Lucy and Molly inside. You can fit your own photos in it if you want. Lucy and Molly can either be removed or just glued over. It's fine. They won't even know. They're animals. And finally, for the Creep merch, we've got golden chainsaw and axe earrings. It's a combination of Creep's axe and Dead Meat's golden chainsaw, only in earring form that you can stick in the holes in your ears. And then finally, we have one more thing that's actually not a Creep collaboration. If you watch the Dead Meat Horror Awards, this might be familiar. It's a little plush prime rib trophy that we made and are sending to Indy the dog, the star of Good Boy. But you can have one too. You can have it as just a plush for your shelf or as a dog toy. Molly is actually a pretty big fan of this. I know that she seems very ambivalent right now, but just look at this picture. Isn't that the cutest picture you've ever seen? All of these items are available for pre-order starting today, July 24th, and going through August 10th. After that, they'll ship in about 10 to 12 weeks, meaning late October or possibly early November. We're not the ones actually doing the shipping and stuff, so I don't know, but that's what we've been told to say. There's also free shipping on orders for $100 or more, so there you go. All right, on to the kill count. Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies and show you how they were made. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Pretty Lethal, released in 2026. If I say ballerina, you get an image in your head. Classical music, graceful movement, sapphic sex with Mila Kunis, you know, that sort of thing. Recently, ballerinas have gotten to have some bloody fun, be it as a vampire or a, what was she, an assassin bodyguard? Pretty Lethal keeps the bloody brawlerina going as a tense and funny thriller comedy. It follows a troupe of ballerinas who end up kidnapped in a remote Hungarian mansion in the middle of a crime family dispute. I'll be honest, this isn't really a horror movie. It's more in the vein of something like Upgrade, but even that has a dystopian sci-fi body horror thing going on. It might compare to something like Green Room, only not as crazy intense since it is also a comedy. But I had such a fun time watching this, and it's got plenty of kills, so I'm covering it because I'd like this movie to find its audience. The tone and humor may not work for everyone, but I think plenty will love it, and I want them to know about it. Also, full disclosure, I do know the writer Kate Freund through a mutual friend, but that just makes me personally proud of what she's helped make here. She and director Vicky Jusin wanted to make a movie that shed light on how intense ballet is. I've heard the tales. Chelsea did a bunch of ballet when she was young. There was a severity to it, it seems, with nonstop training for strength, flexibility, and the ability to push through physical pain. Take those traits and plop them into an action thriller, and it's a real fun time.
People assume we're these delicate, fragile little things, but we're not. We perform sick, hurt, and on bleeding feet, all while keeping a smile on our face. So don't tell me you're not strong.
Pretty Lethal was produced by 87 North, known for kinetic action fare like Atomic Blonde, John Wick, and Nobody. This movie feels at home with those, thanks to its fight sequences, but without giving the teenage ballerinas unrealistic strength or power. They kinda get the shit kicked out of them, and only prevail by banding together and using their unique skill set.
These guys are drunk and out of shape, and we're prima fucking ballerinas.
It's honestly exactly the movie I want to watch when I hear the premise. Yes, it can get a little paint by numbers, especially near the end, but that's kind of part and parcel with this type of film. What makes it a success is how damn fun it is. It breezes through a quick 90 minutes, has great stunts and choreography, and Uma Thurman gets to be a scenery-chewing villainess. A letter returned to sender? But I didn't write any letter. I did. This is the letter I wrote to today's sponsor, ZocDoc. My dear, dear ZocDoc, I love you. I love how you're a free app and website that helps you find and book high-quality, in-network doctors so you can find a doctor you love. For the longest time, I thought I'd never be able to find a doctor that was right for me. It was such a hassle just to find one doctor that was near me, took my insurance, and matched my medical needs. I couldn't imagine going through all that and stumbling on one that I actually liked. But then, you walked into my life. You made it easy to search from 150,000 providers across 200 plus specialties. And you gave me guidance with real patient reviews and detailed doctor profiles, so I wasn't choosing blindly. But maybe what I love the most is how easy you make selecting an appointment by providing doctors real-time availabilities and allowing you to book directly on the site, with many appointments available in just 24 to 72 hours. So I can be seen when I need to be seen. Man, this is beautiful. And I do love ZocDoc, but if this has been returned, they don't know how I feel. I have to go resend this. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/deadmeat to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/deadmeat. ZocDoc! This message is sponsored by ZocDoc. Will this deadly dancing raise the bar with bodies? Let's find out and get to the kills. The movie begins in ballerina class. They're studying for their twirling degree. Miss Thorna's girls of Sunset Dance LA are getting ready for a big showcase in Budapest tomorrow. The class is lacking cohesion. Slow-mo soloist Bonnie, who goes by Bones, has a rivalry with spoiled rich girl Princess.
Hey, don't you know how to fucking count? I'm talking to you. You turned and sickled, bitch.
Now, I don't know ballet jargon, but them sounds like fighting words. Her snooty ballet rival almost gets her to quit.
Ballet is a rich bitch sport.
But she sticks around for the other girls, like sisters Chloe and Zoe. Chloe's deaf, so Zoe signs and interprets for her. The final member of their troupe is a religious goody point shoes named Grace. She's kind of a space case.
Earth to Grace.
The next day, they're on a plane to Hungary, bones and all, with a CNC Music Factory needle drop. But right away, the trip is gonna make them sweat. The airline lost their luggage, their plane was rerouted, and they wind up on a bus that breaks down in the middle of the woods. Not wanting to lose their spot in the showcase, and with their cell phones not working, of course, they decide to walk to the nearest town to find a phone to use. Instead of a town, they reach the Terramach Inn, an old, huge, isolated building. Doorman Ossip is the first person they meet, and gotta say, he starts them off with some bad vibes.
Such beautiful creatures should not be out in the cold.
Still, since it's raining, they follow him inside and find a place so grand it needs a cool oneer to introduce it. Love the mood lighting, and Chloe loves that bleached blonde singer boy. She's wonderstruck. An employee named Sonia says they can't be sitting around in their wet clothes, so they change into the only dry outfits they have. Luckily, they're not out of place here. It's decked out looking like a TGI ballet. Turns out the Terramach's owner, Devora, no, not that one, was a former ballerina herself. That is, before a tragic accident cut her career short. And here comes the bride herself. Devora offers to call a ride to take Thorna and the girls to Budapest. It's no big deal. She's more preoccupied with a slimy son of a crime boss who just arrived. Pasha Markovich is here to collect money from the bar on his father's behalf. Him and his goons. Frickin' goons. Thorna takes Chloe to the bathroom where she realizes her hearing aids busted from the rain. Chloe wasn't originally written as a deaf character until they cast Millicent Simmons, who we've seen in the A Quiet Places. She worked with director Vicky Jewson, researching deaf ballet dancers and how they learn choreography without hearing the music. Her on-screen sister Zoe is played by Iris Apatow, daughter of Judd, who learned ASL for the role. Thorna hears muffled shouting and follows the sound to find Devora branding a man's tongue with the letter T. It might be for Terramach, it might be for tongue. You know, in case he forgets. In any case, Thorna realizes they're like sheep in a wolf's hall, and further freaks out when she thinks Chloe's gone from the bathroom. What, lady? She's right there! The other girls are still downstairs showing off their dance moves. They just couldn't help themselves after a pianist started playing Sugar Plum Fairy. Bones is the last to join them, only doing so out of a sense of competition with Princess. Bones is played by the most experienced dancer in the cast, Maddie Ziegler, who was 8 when she first appeared on Dance Moms, which she did until she was 13. She's also appeared in multiple Sia music videos, like that one with Shia LaBeouf in a cage. Ziegler hadn't done ballet in a while, but fell back into the style quickly once the cast started training.
And Maddie was like, yeah, I'm rusty too. And I was like, it's not gonna be remotely the same.
Thorna gets downstairs, but before she can warn the girls, Pasha makes a pass at her. He don't take no for an answer, so she knees him right in the sugar plums. Hell yeah, Thorna, fine and fierce.
We need to get out of here.
Holy fucking shit, what the fuck, dude? What the fuck? Oh, yo, what the fuck? I know I said this isn't much of a horror movie, but this right here is a truly horrific moment. Thorna's life gets tossed away just so some fuckwit failson can look big and scary in front of his goons.
You see what happens when you disrespect a man like me,
Thorna was so protective of and loving to her ballerinas, who just had to witness her fucking head explode. And no one in the bar ain't gonna do shit, since Pasha's father is the biggest crime boss around. The dancers, understandably, start freaking out.
Calm down. Everything will be all right.
Oh, he shot her.
Devora promises she'll call the police after they go to a safe room in the basement. Ossip will take them there. You can totally trust that dude. But Bones thinks the vibes are off, so she makes a run for it. Face first into a shovel, a door slam, and a tunnel car. Oh, that was a late one. Fun. Ossip leads the girls into the basement, where Grace starts having a panic attack. He gives her some candy to calm her down. Or wait, is that candy? Or, drugs. Meanwhile, Chloe been upstairs primping in the mirror for way too long. She runs into the cute boy from the stage, and there ain't no language barrier with their body language. Devora makes her cronies clean up the crime, but fucking Pasha's got some splaining to do. What the fuck, Pasha? His suggestion is to kill the ballerinas too, but she tells the idiot that 5 missing American teenagers might present a problem. Still, she says, be cool. She'll take care of it all under one condition. Pasha's dad, Lothar the Butcher, has to come to the Terramach and collect his money in person, something he's never done before. In the meantime, she'll begin the cleanup. She removes the incriminating bullet from Thorna's head, much to the disgust of her sensitive elder son Saber.
It's not your fault. I was too gentle with you.
In the basement, Bones comes to find Sonia questioning a drugged-up Grace. She tries to intervene with a lie, saying their families know where they are, but Grace is just too zooted to play along.
Bonnie, how can I save your soul if you lie?
No one's coming.
Sonia tells Devora that they should be in the clear, so they burn any evidence that the ballerinas were there and round up Chloe, who's still in the midst of Bieber fever. Turns out Bleach Blonde is Devora's youngest son Artyom. Turns out he's a dick, too.
No need for Hungarian. Bitch doesn't hear or speak.
Look like she can read lips, though. Bones isn't gonna just sit around waiting to die. She dislocates her shoulder to wriggle out of her ropes and realizes the straight-laced Grace is having a bad trip. She tries to get her to throw up the drugs, but she isn't able to.
What kind of ballerina doesn't know how to make themselves throw up?
Ossip heads back to check on them, pausing only for a nose full of panty. You think Ossip is short for Ossiperv? I mean, these swans had better be careful. Dude's into all sorts of weird shit.
Kinda got a thing for birds.
Bet he gets off to It's Always Sunny. Before he can get ornithophilic with Grace, Bones takes one of her bobby pins and is all like, get it in your eye! He fights back hard and is every bit the struggle. They're going through walls, she's stabbing him in the face, and the other girls can't help. They're too sheltered and scared. And besides, Grace started peeking a bit ago, seeing a Devilman Ossip and talking nutcrackers. Run! Eventually, she steps up and tries to intervene, but it's not like she's a javelin thrower, you know? She's a ballerina. Although Ossip is stronger than Bones, she uses her flexibility to ultimately prosper, kicking him into a bedpost that impales him through the back. Gee, thanks for the help, ladies! At the bar, Devora's keeping Pasha and his boys liquored up to keep their guard down, and their pants too soon by the looks of it. She hates these idiots. Because of them, she's going to have to snuff out a century of potential.
Between the 5 ballerinas, there is almost 100 years of training, dedication, pain, passion, and discipline, all to be extinguished.
She calls a cleaner named the Doctor, and between the dude he's got tied up in the back of his van and the fact that he spells doctor with a K, you know he's bad news. He is also thorough.
I take these eyes, fingertips, then do the same for ballerinas. No one will be able to identify them.
Pasha gets worried about Devora taking all the cleanup credit, and if his pops finds out, he might not be Daddy's #1 candy baby. He decides to do something about it himself by sending his goons Vlad and Fady to kill the ballerinas instead. What they don't know is that Bones has been rallying the troop, saying they need to stop waiting for rescue and save themselves.
We perform sick, hurt, and on bleeding feet, all keeping a smile on her face. So don't tell me you're not strong.
The girls find their ballet bags and the gear inside, which includes box cutters. Earlier, we saw them scoring the bottom of their point shoes, or shank, which is done to make the shoes more flexible. They've also got a pair of tiny scissors, and when Fady forces the door open, they get shoved right up his nose. Smells like a fight scene coming on. In fact, the ensuing fight is my favorite sequence of the film. It's all-out violence, the girls using anything available, including their teeth. They're often overpowered and can't throw a punch without hurting their hand, but they're flexible in more ways than one, improvising weapons like a pair of point shoes tied together to create bunchucks. At one point, Zoe does grab one of their guns, but she can't use it worth shit.
I'm sorry, don't apologize to him.
They've got more skill points in their kicks, so when a blade accidentally gets embedded in Bones' point shoe, it turns the shank cutter into a straight up shank. This is the moment that made me love this movie. You will never get a better fulfillment of the premise than Bones slashing Vlad's throat to end their Batman beatdown. Fady gets his when a drugged out Grace gets bloodlusty and stabs the shit out of his neck. Bones' new weapon absolutely rules. Even Princess acknowledges it.
That toe blade is sick.
Happy accident.
I must have one.
And have one she will. Have one they all will. For these fight sequences, Juicin wanted the combat to feel grounded and realistic. She directed the girls like a group of feral cats, acting on survival instinct rather than any training.
And they're not John Wick, they're not fighters. So for every single fight move, it had to come from a dance move.
Working with the stunt team at 87 North, they choreographed a fighting style dubbed Ballet Fu. 2 thumbs up. Even though each actress had both a ballet double and a stunt double, they still underwent a 3-week boot camp before production began, with 10-hour days consisting of ballet in the morning and stunt training in the afternoon. For some of them, the combat was the easy part.
But weirdly, I felt that the dancing was, like, the fighting was easy.
Lana Condor had trained at a ballet company before becoming an actor. She and Ziegler both said making this movie helped them move past some childhood trauma.
I mean, my past with dancing, there's a little trauma in there, so I think like opening it up and doing it all over again was great, but this movie was very healing for that.
Yo, Chelsea's always talking about her ballet-induced trauma too. What the fuck are these classes doing to our girls? With the bodyguards off their backs, they think they're in the clear to leave the Terramach, but motherfuckers act like they
forgot about Chloe?
Princess says they can leave and send help, but the others refuse to abandon Chloe. Princess even tries to take Grace with her, only to be met with Grace twirling towards freedom. Man, once those drugs got into Grace, she became a real delight.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's buzz.
She's played by Avantika, who's only 21, but already going by a mononym. Like Ziegler, she was also a kid when she was featured in a dance reality show in India. Eventually, she wound up in American films like Mean Girls and, Tarot? That's one of those movies I watched that I don't remember even a little bit. Devora heads downstairs and finds Fadian Vlad, who, wait, is still alive? But we already put up the kill graphic. He's just barely able to tell her who did this to them. And then he dies. All right, motherfucker, messing with our kill graphics. No respect. The girls find Sonia and hold her at point, demanding to know where Chloe is.
She's down the hall, chilling.
Sonia is hilarious and played by Kate Freund, the writer of this movie, who, as I mentioned, I know through a friend. She comes from a dance background herself, which is why the script is full of details and a true passion for the art. The troupe finds Chloe chillin' in Devora's office/ballet shrine. It's got an old tutu on display and a shoe chandelier. Chandelier? Bones grabs a shotgun she finds under the desk, and Zoe grabs her sister, saying it's time to
blow this pop stand.
Meanwhile, Princess tries to leave on her own, only to find a fucked up game of Operation with the doctor doing his thing to Thorna's corpse. She doubles back and finds the rest of the girls in the kitchen, where Zoe catches Chloe up on everything she's missed. Sorry, Chloe, it's like real bad. But at least Grace manages to have a good time with that whipped cream canister. Damn, girl, you looking to get the Wawas too? They try to call for help on a rotary phone.
This is a very ineffective way to make a phone call.
It's so slow, they haven't finished by the time Saber comes into the kitchen for a midnight snack. Thankfully, their limberness allows them to stow away in unseen spots. Damn, they'd be so good at Mecha Chameleon. Saber eventually follows the phone cord to find Princess, and another fight gets underway, one in which their toe blades are pointless against his fake leg. Good thing the gun works just fine on his real hand. The girls make a break for it back to the bar, where they find all of Devora's criminal clients waiting for them. Oh, and Sonia just rapping on stage in the background. Pasha disarms them, but even without a gun, they're not backing down anymore.
If we want to survive, we have to do this as a team.
Okay, ladies, now let's get in formation. It's time for more Ballet Fu in the main set piece of the film, set to music from the Nutcracker. Unlike the earlier fight scenes, this one feels a little far-fetched, since the bad guys do that thing where they attack one by one. Always a pet peeve of mine, acting like a bunch of Haddonfield townsfolk. But I feel like at this point, the movie's earned some goodwill. And besides, I ain't mad watching Grace spin around hitting people with a hammer, or seeing Zoe go absolutely feral. And Bones and Princess even end up getting along enough to duet together. Oh, that's nice. Chloe has a chance to get revenge on Artyom, but instead takes mercy on the fuckboy and tells him to run away. Yeah, be careful with that door, doofus! The fight culminates in a shootout and a Molotov cocktail being served from the bar. At the end of it all, I'll count 8 gangsters as dead, based on the number of dudes who were in the fight, including the 2 knocked down the stairs by Grace with a hammer, and the number of bodies on the ground now. Sure, some of them are still twitching, but spoiler alert, they ain't making it out of there. After the main fight is over, Saber joins the count when Sonia accidentally shoots him with the office gun. The girls make a break and manage to escape out a window, except for Bones, who's left behind and apprehended by Devora.
Brava, my girl.
She still tries to shoot her, but she's stopped by a lack of ammo. Further efforts are thwarted by a fake leg and a snub nose. She's taken prisoner, giving Devora a captive audience for her villain origin story. She explains that she was a dancer since she was a little kid, in contrast to Uma Thurman in real life.
And I got kicked out of ballet class myself. I was too tall, my feet were too big. Teacher was just like, just go home.
Fallout Boy is full of lies! D'Vorah worked so hard she was cast as the Sugar Plum Fairy in a national production of The Nutcracker. But her father owed money to Lothar Markovich, Pasha's father, and to punish him, he took D'Vorah's leg, ending her career. And she kept it in a jar. Alright, yeah. But D'Vorah believes in leg for a leg justice, which is why she shot Pasha in his and took him captive too. Pasha's papa Lothar is on his way to the inn, so D'Vorah prepares for her revenge. She's got the building rigged with explosives all over the place. It's frickin' armed more than Goro. Bones is left tied up and at the doctor's mercy, though his first torture attempt doesn't faze her. Sure, this might make us the audience cringe, but she's a ballerina.
My toenails break all the time. And you know what I do? I peel them off. I put a smile on my face and I dance. Because I'm a ballerina!
He ups the ante with a bone saw, but before he can saw Bones, Princess appears and shoots the doctor with a crossbow. She's come back to rescue Bones, who quickly knocks out Pasha with a single kick. He had just gotten out of an Iron Maiden D'Vorah put him in, but now he's prisoner to a bunch of ballerinas. Outside, his father Lothar and his cronies arrive, putting the groundskeeper Yuri in the ground on their way in. The crime boss is played by Michael Culkin, who we've seen on the show before as Professor Philip Purcell in Candyman, and its sequel. On their way out, the girls realize what D'Vorah's planning to do.
C4? I mean, I see at least 16.
Not wanting to be caught up in the whole, explosion of it all, they plead with D'Vorah, ballerina to ballerina. Let them live so they can dance, something she never got to do. Also, hey, she can have Pasha back. It's a pretty good deal that leaves both parties satisfied, as the girls are given permission to leave. Oh, they're gonna miss D'Vorah solo. Now that Lothar is here, D'Vorah can finally confront him for ruining her life.
What are you supposed to be?
I was supposed to be the Sugar Plum Fairy.
After a very short speech, she detonates the explosives, killing everyone inside the building. I'm gonna add 12 to our count. We saw Lothar enter the Terramach with 9 goons, making 10, plus D'Vorah and Pasha makes 12. I'm guessing Artyom never stopped running once he started, and I'd like to believe Sonya lived to wrap another day. The girls steal a couple of motorcycles so they can make it to the big showcase. Real fun shots for the movie to end up with. Ballerinas on motorcycles rolling around in Budapest. They show up just in time.
We're the Americans.
Yeah, they probably guessed that. Dedicating their show to Ms. Thorna, they take the stage and dance together as an ensemble. They're finally a coherent unit, brought together by the horrors they've witnessed, and all the dudes they killed. How many gangsters got their nuts cracked in this ballerina brawl? Let's find out and get to the numbers. That's not how you do that. That's not. Sorry. We counted 27 kills in Pretty Lethal, though it's definitely a messy one. The victims included 25 dudes and only 2 ladies, giving us a pretty blue pie chart for a pretty pink movie. In fact, it is the most imbalanced pie chart of all 9 times we've covered 27 kills. With a runtime of 91 minutes, Pretty Lethal had a kill on average every 3 1/3 minutes. I'll give the Golden Chainsaw for coolest kill to Vlad for reasons I already explained. Perfect premise fulfillment, perfect form. Dom Machete for lamest kill honestly goes to the explosion at the end, since that whole sequence felt way too rushed and all of a sudden. And that's it. Pretty Lethal played a bunch of festivals, which is how I saw it, before being released on Amazon Prime in 2026. Next week is a video game kill count, but after that, I'm back with From Beyond. Hell yeah, get hype! Until next time, I'm James A. Janice. This has been The Kill Count. Thanks a lot for watching this kill count on Pretty Lethal. Yeah, this is one of those movies that I saw and liked so much that I just wanted to cover it on the kill count to get more eyes on it. And yeah, part of that is because I do know the writer. But if I had known the writer and not had such a fun time with the movie, I wouldn't have covered it. So it takes both those aspects to make this come true. If you missed it, make sure you check out the Dead Meat Horror Awards that came out last Saturday. We had a live screening here in LA for it. It was a huge success. I'm so proud of it and thankful for everyone who came out. I'm also thankful to our patrons. Patrons like Rach, Justin, I forgot to put him on the teleprompter, Jessica Kahlberg, Red and BBR25, hell yeah, Mallory Howell, and Reagan Pro. Thanks everyone, be good people.